But if I had to say anything about this game, I would say that the soundtrack is on point. There is nothing quite like doing a bank heist, escape route, in a speedboat, through a sewer canal, listening to Highway to Hell. Nothing quite like that.
I apologize. I apologize. I apologize.
Like, look at this. Look at this believable world. We're in Mardi Gras. These two bobbleheads have just been sitting there staring at each other for the last 5 minutes. There's literally no noise. There's not a single person yelling, screaming. The dialogue that comes out of these guys' mouths is something that's just... Well, I stood too close to this guy having a conversation with no words, and he tells me to give him some more room. You can bump into people. They all say sorry. Everyone's very polite. These drunk people are very, very polite when you bump into them. Otherwise, what are you looking at, fucking?
Pardon me.
Oh, he's walked straight into him and... Oh, pardon me. What about this drunk here?
Lucky I don't leave your drunk ass in a ditch.
Oh, can't walk into this guy. But, I've never been to Mardi Gras in New Orleans, but I pictured it being a bit louder.
About, he knows every low-life thing I've ever done and has never ratted me out. If I say we can trust him, we can trust him.
And I don't know what this part of the game is right at the start. Everybody would have experienced this part when we get in the FBI agent's car and this motherfucker just doesn't start. Who decided this was going to be a good part of the game when we got in this car and it doesn't start? I've done this twice now, hasn't started. My friend's done it once, hasn't started. This is a design choice that this car wasn't supposed to start. Look at me sitting in the driver's seat going wild. Yeah, get back here, alright? Get your goddamn car to start. Take that shit to the mechanic or something. There we go. All that talking could have been done while we were driving to our destination. I don't know, I guess that segues into how the driving is in this game. It's not super fun. I use the cars mainly as a transportation method. A to B. I'm not driving them because they're fun. I'm driving them because my destination's over 200 meters away. Otherwise, I'm more than happy to run and jump through the fences. And it's much more enjoyable to run to my destinations if it's under 200 meters. Otherwise, I will get in one of the very, very heavy, sluggish cars and drive my way over there, usually crashing into cars that haven't rendered in yet. But now, this is the home base. This is right after, I guess, the prologue of the game finished. And let me tell you right now, you better have relished the fact that in the prologue, this motherfucker right here was wearing different clothing, because you'll be seeing this green jacket for the remainder of your game. This green jacket and you are going to become very good friends. So, without needing to elaborate anymore, you can't change clothes in this game. There's no customizing of your character. Can't do haircut, can't do clothes. You're Lincoln Clay, and that's it. He doesn't do his laundry. He wears the same clothes every day. Right now, we are playing some Watch Dogs. We have witness is calling police. Copy, paste, open world, straight from Watch Dogs. Witness is calling police. Basically, if somebody sees you doing something you shouldn't be doing, they're going to start calling the police. Like this guy here. But they don't have cell phones, like in Watch Dogs. So this guy is going to run right the way to a payphone. He is, see this red box in front of us? That's where he's going. I guess you're supposed to do something about it before he gets there. And hope nobody around decides they want to call the police for you doing that. I guess it's a system to make the world seem more alive. But essentially it just works like you have to kill a civilian, and then maybe a civilian will start ringing because you killed that civilian. You just have to start killing civilians until they decide that it's a bad idea to start ringing the police and leave you alone. No real consequence for it.
Huh? Well, look at you.
Looking good, chocolate pudding. Maybe you can give me a taste later on.
Looking good, chocolate pudding. maybe he can give me a taste later on. So, without any real segue there, right now, this is where the game starts, I guess, and not for the better. You start the game up and you're playing quite a fluid, flowing story. Flashback, game, flashback, and you're getting a bit of a roll on, you get a move a roll on, then an event happens. You'll know what I'm talking about when you play the game, but an event happens and then you basically start fresh, you know, like you always do in these open world games. You start fresh. And right now, informants, it says right here, informants work the criminal rackets around New Bordeaux. Find and interrogate them to learn about objectives associated with rackets. Rackets are what this game is, I guess. You need to take the districts back. In order to take the districts back, you need to destroy the rackets in the district. To get the rackets, you need to kill the racket boss. To lure out the racket boss, you need to kill the racket enforcers. So, essentially you'll be doing a bunch of menial tasks to take out rackets and racket enforcers until you've done enough damage to the racket to lure out the racket boss. At which point, you then kill the racket boss, assign the racket to an NPC on your team, then the district's yours. Then you go to the next district, and you do that. So, that is essentially the bread and butter of this game. The story comes to a pretty screeching halt. So what we're doing right now, we're taking out the Haitian racket. I mean, so this here is the racket boss. Obviously his face shot didn't kill him because we have to kill him with our combat knife. He's the boss, you know. Headshot's not going to do it for him.
We all want Dixie out of the hollow. Give me your boss and I'll make it happen.
Fuck. Shit. Get to the photo shop. You'll find the boss there.
Son.
It's a tricky one because we're in the game now. Story is basically stopping for a minute as we do the grindy gameplay, which isn't bad because this game does play quite fun. The gunplay is fluid. The character animation, as I've talked about before, when he's running, I like that step that he does when he comes off an aim. It makes him look like he's a real character. So we're basically doing the bread and butter gameplay now, which, I mean, isn't the worst thing in the world because the game does play pretty good. I do enjoy playing it. I like the gunplay. I'm not super fussed on the city. Like, none of the city feels alive to me. It's very plain. There's not a lot to do in between doing missions. You know, every 14th building or so you'll be able to enter. You know, it's plagued by that classic open world. You know, GTA is the same. I'm not saying GTA is any different or anything, but like every, you know, you can tell which one's enterable. You look through the window, you're like, oh, you're definitely not getting in there. But you know, every 14th, 15th building is a gas station which you can go in and you can rob the till. Some racket missions you have to go in and break a bottle shelf or something in the shop, as well as rob the till. So the city is very shallow. There's not a lot to do. The AI for all these people are pretty shallow. Like, the cars just drive around in very like scripted loops. Characters do very scripted right-hand turns. You know, when they're walking, they'll be doing this, and then they'll go like this. Otherwise, they're all just sort of walking around, not doing a lot. Is you see it highlights district, 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 and obviously another district. Now, first district we're trying to take over is the Hollow, so we are going to do racketeering and kill the bosses until we overtake this district. Then we're going to move to the next district, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, next one, next one, next one, next one, next one, until we get to the main boss. And he's going to have his own district. He's going to probably have a bit more of story mission stuff to do then, but the bulk of this game is essentially like you're playing Saints Row 2 again. Now, if you've ever played Saints Row 2, you're going to know exactly what I mean. You're doing the same thing. you're doing the exact same thing. The gameplay is very shallow. The world is too shallow for the gameplay to be that shallow. Little small things as well make this game just something that could have been great but missed the mark. Small things like this. You probably don't think this is a big deal, but it should be for a AAA game. Look at the way... We'll do it again. Look at the way he jumps into the water. Or doesn't jump into the water at all. There is literally no animation for this guy falling into the water. Like any real person. Like, this is small complaints, but still. Like any real person would jump into the water like that. Right now what we're doing is what I mentioned earlier, we're hurting a racket. You see up in the top left there it says damage remaining 15,000. So what we're doing right now, we are going to be freeing these prostitutes upstairs, and that is going to be hurting the racket. You're going to see the money go down. We hurt it enough and the boss is going to come out. We kill the boss. So you see the money stacks lying around as well. Also you grab those and the money goes down, but you're dead. You're dead. Oh. They're all gone. Not exactly next gen AI either, to be honest. Oh my god, these tutorials are insufferable. They'll do stupid shit. They don't really act like they're human beings. They're more robots. I don't know what I was expecting, but they yell out the same dialogue over and over again. They don't flank. They don't do anything remotely similar to what a real human being would do. So bust open this. Read that forgettable note. You're free. So I gotta do this fucking minigame 3 fucking times. You're free. There's a guy in this one as well, so we gotta kill a guy as well as free a girl. Probably stab him in the neck as well. Nope.
You killed him.
You killed him.
You should kill all of them.
Alright, love, chill out. We're gonna do it. Alright, so she's free as well. We don't even help them escape, we just let them escape on their own. I don't know where you think you're going, but... Chain reaction, we've got 3 in a row. Oh dear. Got a double. Oh no. This one nearly got away. Alright, so he pretty much nailed it. He got to his payphone. Like, make sure he doesn't ever do that again, but that's what happens. The witnesses will call, police will come in. Usually you can escape the circle pretty quick, even if they do call, so it's not a big deal. There's no real consequence. And we'll just be on our way. Terrible game concept. It's like a copy-paste template that these developers can take off a website, paste it, skin it, sell it. It's the same as every other game world mechanic. Games look different, obviously, they sound different, but it's like an open world template. This getting back to districts, you know? Conquering the map, getting back to districts. It's just how to make an open world game now, so that's what they do. It's what's expected of an open world game, so that's just what they need to put into it. Nothing new, but this has been my rant on Mafia 3. Thank you very much.